Hiya, and welcome back to Tennis Ace. The game that teaches us that Keisuke is never ending. We are on part 59. 59! Anyways, let's just hop right in. In my dreams, I keep running the same scenarios over and over in my head, me constantly looking over my shoulder with the nagging feeling of being followed. People around me talk, but I can't hear a single word. Every now and again, I can see shadowy, faceless figures on the corner of my vision, yet they soon disappear. When I tell others about it, they merely laugh, as if I were saying something funny. What do I do? Am I going crazy? Why won't anyone believe me? I slowly open my eyes, my hazy vision slowly begins to clear up, allowing me to piece together the scene around me. Once the dull throbbing on the back of my head finally dissipates enough that I can think in proper full sentences, I sit up, yawning and looking around the room. Here's the thing, we probably are going to have a part 69 in the near future. First thing I notice is some kind of flowery smell, or is it herbal? I look around trying to get my bearings. It takes a full second for me to remember where I am and what I am doing here. When I look to my side, I notice that Keisuke's futon is empty. That's right. Once we got here yesterday, Keisuke asked me if I wouldn't mind sharing a room with him so we wouldn't have to share a room with Hayato-kun. Given that we've been sharing a room for a little while now, it seemed silly that he even felt he had to ask. By the time we all got here yesterday, I was so tired from the trip and from constantly running over my meeting with the fox yesterday in my mind that I was barely even coherent. Here's the thing. If I'm not actually, let me check something real quick. Because if I am correct, then we might be starting June's route today. Probably not. But within the next couple days, if I am correct about this. Where the hell is Tennis Ace? There it is. Yeah, I'm like checking something right now. Game. Images. No, not images. Day 36 Keisuke.rpy. Alright. What is 35 Keisuke? Yeah, I'm literally reading the script right now, except I'm scrolling all the way to the end to see what it is. Nah. We're not going to be done with this for a while. But I ended up rushing through dinner and coming to our room to pass out, only waking up briefly when Keisuke slid into the futon next to me and hugged me from behind. Good morning. Snapped out of my reverie, I look around to the corner where I notice Keisuke relaxing, sitting on his own with what seems like a cup of tea and looking out the window. The sunrise is really pretty from here. Too bad you missed it. Morning. You sure passed out last night. You were already snoring by the time I got here. I don't snore. Beg to differ. What time is it anyway? I yawn while rubbing the back of my neck. My whole body feels stiff. 6 a.m. Ugh, I should have been plenty of sleep, but I still feel like crap. Are you okay? You thrashed a little in your sleep as well. I thought you were having a nightmare. I feel like I did, I just don't remember it. That's a shame. That I don't remember it? No, silly, that you had a nightmare. It's whatever, everyone has nightmares. Not everyone remembers them, though. That's true. Then again, I did just say that I don't remember mine. I just feel like I had one. You've been up for a few hours, I'm guessing? You guessed correctly. Where did you get tea? From the hotel, of course. Where else? You didn't go out in your underwear to get it, did you? Of course not. Don't be ridiculous. Do I look like a pervert to you? Just asking. I wouldn't blame you if you were so foggy after waking up that you forgot about it.
I'd offer you some, but if there has been one thing I've finally understood about our brief period of cohabitation, it's just how much you seem to loathe tea, green especially.
That was a lot of words for this early in the morning. Is there some kind of off button on your flowery filter or something?
Heh, sorry, force of habit. I'll try to talk simpler.
Thank you. Where did I put my bag?
It's on that corner right over there, next to the TV.
Thanks. I get up on my feet, raising my arms above my head and taking a moment to stretch my whole body, feeling my back pop once or twice in the process. Sometimes I feel like such an old man. I dig around for some clothes and a towel in case I decide to take a bath before we go out. Still undecided on that. Where did I put my phone? I look around the room while looking for it. My memory of last night might as well have been deleted entirely. Hiya. I mean, I do like green tea. Seriously, how can I have zero clue where I put the damn thing? While walking around, I noticed Keisuke staring at me intently. You okay there?
Yes, quite alright. Don't mind me. I'm just enjoying the view.
The view... When I follow his gaze and look downward, I finally realize that I've been walking around with my morning wood on full display. While the feeling of embarrassment hits for a brief second, at this point I'm already so used to it that I barely even care anymore. Instead, I look back at the hair, noticing just how fixated he is on it. I decide to run an experiment. I sway my hip to one side, noticing how Keisuke's gaze follows. I then sway my hip to the other side, and once again, Keisuke's gaze follows. Yeah. This is kind of fun, actually. Geez, you're like a cat with a laser pointer.
Can you really blame the cat when the laser pointer is packaged so nicely?
Keisuke, stop talking about her penis. Oh, God. Keisuke continues to sip on his tea as if nothing's happened. From the look on his face, you wouldn't even be able to guess that he's shamelessly leering at my crotch. Careful, you seem to be getting a bit too excited.
Ah, oops, that wasn't meant to happen.
Right. Keisuke shifts on his seat, crossing his legs in an attempt to hide it. Part of me wants to point out how unfair it is for him to cover himself up while continuing to stare at me, but Maybe I'm too tired to properly think through what I'm doing, but I decide to fuck with him some more since I've been graciously offered the opportunity. Oh, damn, I just grabbed a new pair of underwear. Where did I put them again? Nah, because at this point, I don't give a shit. Plus, I'm in the room alone. See? I slip out of my underwear, letting my guy hang freely while I walk around the room pretending to have lost my undies. Keisuke pretends to look away, but I can tell his eyes are still following me around.
Maybe you put them back there?
He points at a random spot behind me. Having fully guessed his intent, I still follow along, pretending like I don't know what's going on. Here? It's kind of messy. I bend over and fiddle around with this stuff on the ground while acting like I'm looking for my underwear. I have to make a conscious effort to get my tail to stop wagging. I even raise it a bit to give Keisuke a better view of the process. Honestly, same, but holy shit! Oh, silly me. I had it in my hands the whole time.
Silly indeed.
Hiya! Now that I've made sure Keisuke's is raging completely inside its place, I decided to cut our little game short and start properly dressing myself. Keisuke doesn't complain, seemingly content with the short private show he got.
You know, it's a shame I'm going back to the estate after the trip. I could certainly get used to this.
What was that you asked me just a while ago? Do I look like a pervert?
Ha! Very well, I deserved that.
Keisuke sets his teacup to the side, getting up from his seat and stretching his own back, not bothering to hide his tent anymore.
All jokes aside, I think it's time I get dressed as well. There isn't that much time until we have to leave, and I think we should spend at least some of it waiting in the lobby.
True. Don't know when Coach will want us to leave. Hare grabs one of his bags, grabbing a change of clothes from inside and beginning to change. Unlike me, he's not trying to put on a show, so his underwear doesn't drop like mine did. Instead, he very quickly puts some clothes on, standing up next to me, fully dressed not a minute later.
There we go. Much better.
You sure? Is your little guy not getting squeezed to death in there?
Shut up.
Keisuke gives me a friendly push on the shoulder while otherwise stifling his laughter. He can be very cute when he lets his guard down like this.
Before we go, we should organize our futon. Don't want to leave it lying here like that.
I'm kind of shocked you didn't do yours as soon as you woke up.
Ordinarily, I would have, but as you were lying down halfway between my futon and yours, I didn't want to risk waking you up in the process.
Fair enough. Here, let me help you.
Folding up your own futon isn't helping, you know.
It is if I had no intention of doing it initially.
That's just being lazy.
Keisuke and I do short work of organizing everything. Before long, the futon, pillows, and sheets are all folded up neatly on the corner of the room, ready for us when we come back here at the end of the day. We then reach for our tennis bags, making sure that all of our gear is in place before heading downstairs. Sometime later, after a brief period of waiting, everyone gathered at the hotel lobby with their own gear. Amusingly enough, Coach was the last one to show up, having gone out to a nearby store or something. We step out of the bus, getting hit immediately by the hot and dry air outside. It's so bad I almost want to go back in the bus. Alright everyone, gather up. I know this is your first time here for some of you. Try to help out your clubmates that don't have experience with this place. It's pretty big in here, so it's easy to get lost. If I remember correctly, only 2 of the people in here are newbies to this competition. Everyone else has been here at least once. First things first, let's head to the registration area and make sure everything is squared out. Then we'll head into the locker room so you all can get changed before the opening ceremony. Oh, you're talking about the one where Yuichi's wearing lingerie? Because if so, then yes, I've seen it. Yeah. Then yes, I've seen it. Then we'll head into the locker room so you all can get changed before the opening ceremony.
It makes one wonder why we didn't just get into our plain clothes before heading out here.
Speak for yourself. I don't want to be walking around in a polo for any longer than I have to.
If you hate polos so much, why don't you play in a regular t-shirt?
The polos look so much nicer, though. Much more tennis-y.
Tennis-y?
He's an idiot. How are you even surprised? Excuse me, can't I even make a joke anymore? You say it's a joke, but I know for a fact that that's your real reason for wearing a polo when you play. Maybe, maybe not. What's it to you? You can't prove anything. No squabbling, you 3. Osu. Great. We've only just arrived and we're getting chewed out.
Whose fault do you think it is?
How about we split the difference and we all agree to blame Saya?
Hey! I suppose we can agree to that.
Don't encourage him! The 8 of us, led by Coach, form a line on our way to the information desk. Every time I come here, I'm always blown away by how well maintained this place is. I've played in this venue at least 5 times in my life over the last 6 years, and every time I come here, the place is always sparkling clean and looking brand new. It's not like the tennis clubs in Saitama are badly maintained or anything, but this is another level entirely. We're here to register the players for the Minamikawa Academy Tennis Club. Yes, all 7 of them. Yes, that is correct. Coach starts talking to the man at the front desk, showing him our student identities that he'd gathered before we left. One by one, we are all called to the front desk to sign some documents, get our player identification, our registration number, register our phone number with the officials, among other things. I swear, with every passing year, it feels like the process gets longer and longer. It takes almost a full 5 minutes per person. This is kind of ridiculous. Good, no problems this time. I was afraid we'd get a rerun of last year when someone forgot their documents at the hotel and held up the registration line. I'm sure everyone would expect that someone to be me. Honestly, even I would normally assume that I'm the person in question here. And yet, sorry again. Yup, it was Saya. Shocking, I know. Yes, don't sweat it too much. It's in the past. Yikes, your laugh is so loud. And besides, she'd have no reason to sweat it so much if you didn't bring it up in the first place. Does everyone know when their matches take place? I believe at least 2 of you will be in the first batch of matches. Yeah, that will be Kei-kun and me. Yuichi-kun will play during the second batch of matches. Hayato-kun and Ayane-chan will play in the third batch. Then there will be a pause for lunch, and Kana-chan and Himekawa-chan will play during the afternoon matches. Batches 5 and 6, if I remember correctly. Yes, you are correct. Very good, Sayatan.
Damn, she really did memorize everyone's schedules.
I told you that back at the hotel. How are you still surprised? With 64 games to be played for the first round alone, the first day of the competition is entirely dedicated to running those. Since there are 10 courts divided in between the 2 buildings, the first day is divided in 6 batches of 10 matches, followed by a 7th batch of 4 matches. 3 batches in the morning and 4 in the afternoon. Of course, even the best laid plans buckle a little bit under the weight of real life, but most of the time, these competitions tend to be pretty good at following the schedule. 5 of us are slotted to play in the morning, with the other 2 playing later in the afternoon. Honestly, it'd have been kinda nice if we all got to play during the morning. That would mean we'd be free to do whatever we want the rest of the day once lunch break came around. Instead, since Coach is really anal about everyone sticking around to cheer for the other players, we have to stay here the whole day even after we're done. Feels a bit contrived if you ask me, but oh well, I'm not the captain or the coach, so how much weight does my opinion hold anyway? Now, since we still have some time before the opening ceremony starts, let me tell you kids real quick what to expect, especially those of you who haven't been here before. Coach starts explaining how the rounds will be divided over the next 3 days, what time the competition starts and ends, how the courts are assigned, among other things. In reality, most of it can be found on the competition's website, which is probably where he got it in the first place. Those of us who've been here before are already familiar with the speech, so we mostly tune it out. It's more for the newcomers' benefit than anything else. By the way, Yuichi-kun, what time is Aki-kun arriving? I'm not sure. We talked about it and he said he'd come with June. They'll probably be taking the train about sometime soon.
I sure hope, otherwise they'd be late.
The opening ceremony hasn't even started yet. Give them a break. I'm sure they'll get here in time.
If it were only your brother, then I wouldn't worry. Kobayashi, however, has a history of being late to things.
That's a good point. I choose to believe.
Heh, sure.
It's too bad Shokun couldn't come today. He did say he'd be trying his best to make it tomorrow. True, but I know it feels weird to me too.
What's so weird about it?
Shokun has been to every competition of ours since we were kids. That's over 10 years of him always being there. Can you blame us for finding his absence upsetting?
When you put it like that, I guess I can't. Here's hoping he can make it tomorrow.
Yeah. Hey, if you three are going to ignore what I have to say, then can you at least keep it down and try to pretend like you're listening? Sorry. Sai and Keisuke lean a little closer, trying to talk in a hushed voice. Keikun and I can't afford to stick around and wait, though. We both have matches as soon as the ceremony is over. We don't need to wait for them. I'm sure they'll be fine if we leave them be.
Are you actually saying that? Have you met Kobayashi?
He has Aki with him?
Don't leave your little brother in charge of babysitting an adult.
What else am I supposed to do? If they're not here by the time the opening ceremony ends, you wait outside for them while we head to our matches. Oh, sure, leave me alone to wait for them.
It's not like you would get lost.
But I want to watch your guys' matches.
Aren't you the one who said you
chose to believe they'd be here in time? You can believe outside, preferably by the entrance. But
No, she's got a point. You did say that.
Cruel! You two are cruel! Fine, but only because you're asking so nicely. Don't be sarcastic with me. I could be a hell of a lot ruder about it. That I can easily believe, and I see no need to disagree or doubt you in any way, shape, or form. Hang on, I'm adjusting my microphone. Microphone adjusted! I am never going to be happy with the adjustment of my microphone. I am never, ever going to be happy with it. I'll wait outside. Then we'll figure out which of the matches to watch.
Right, there is that too. Since we're both playing at the same time, you can't watch both matches.
Watch Keikun's. He needs the support more than I do.
I wish you wouldn't make it sound like I need help or something.
I am looking forward to June's route. I am looking forward to it. Because he is my favorite. He is my favorite character. He is my favorite. Not help. Support.
Same difference.
Boy, you two are testing me today. You keep picking a fight over every little thing. Has it ever occurred to you that maybe you're just particularly lacking in tact today? Ugh, maybe. Wow, you actually agreed with me? Are you sick or something? Do you have a fever?
Whatever you guys decide is fine by me. Seriously, don't come to my match just because you think I need it. Pick whatever match you want to watch.
I'll try asking them when they arrive. Okay, Coach is probably going to be done with the speech any time now. We better pretend like we were listening. Oh God, am I going to cry? Again?
Good point.
The three of us slowly pull away from each other, trying our best to act like we weren't whispering amongst ourselves the whole time. Luckily, we have no more issues. When the time is finally upon us, we all head to the locker rooms, switching into our playing clothes and preparing for the opening ceremony to start. Oh, I'm not ready for June's route? I guess I'm not ready for June's route. Thankfully, these don't tend to drag anywhere as long as they do with other sports. I know that with the opening ceremonies for Shoichi's competitions, I sometimes felt like I might fall asleep before they were over. Once we're done, and after finding no sign of Aki and June, I accept my fate as the one that has to wait outside and alone for them to get here. I swear to God, if those two end up being alone, I'm going to knock some heads. Yeah, I'm also keeping an eye out for Far Beyond the World. I don't know when it's getting updated, though. Today is not the day for people to be arriving late. Sometime later. Having finished his match, June and I watch as Keisuke walks off the court, calling out to him to make sure he notices us. In the meantime, Aki's at the other building watching Saya-chan's match while sending us live updates via text messaging. See, like, I imagine, because of the way that June's route is being described, that I'm going to start crying. Because, like, okay. With My Neighbor Totoro, because I watched that movie and I loved it, I cried. Like, I was literally sitting in my chair watching it, tears running down my face, constantly going, no, little gremlin, no, because I swear to God, that one kid, May, I believe her name is, it's always the cutest ones that have the most trauma. Why is that, though? Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. Which, by the way, was his idea in the first place.
Ah, so you guys came to watch my match after all.
Why wouldn't we?
I wouldn't have blamed you if you wanted to watch Mizuguchi-san play, that's all.
You did really well, Keisuke-san. That actually went by a lot faster than I thought it would.
So you say, but I can't help feeling like I could have done better.
Are you kidding? I was feeling sorry for your opponent the entire time.
Is that so?
Yeah, you've improved so much over the last few months. Seriously, I was blown away. I felt out of breath just watching.
I'll be damned. That's a huge compliment coming from you.
It is! Truth be told, I could not take my eyes off of you. You took my breath away in more ways than one.
How long have you been here anyway? Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah, those two arrived just in time. We managed to get here just as you guys were finishing your warm-ups.
Lucky me. What of Mizuguchi-san? I don't see Akiyoshi-kun here, so I'm assuming he's with her.
Yeah, he came up with the idea of going to Saya's match and us sending updates on you guys' matches to each other.
That's smart. How's the match going anyway?
Saya just broke her opponent's service. Scores 3-1 in the second set and is 3-love in the second set, and Saya won her first set 6-3.
6-3, huh? Her opponent must be at least decent to have won 3 whole games during the first set.
Or Saya hasn't found her groove yet. Also a possibility.
Albeit a boring one.
Not everything has to be full of excitement.
Sure, but where's the fun in that?
Don't mind him. He's just riding a high from his first victory. Everything went just as he envisioned. His body felt light and moved even better than he was used to. His mind was so clear that he could see what his opponent was about to do before it happened. His shots were much sharper than normal.
How do you know?
Because it happens to me all the time, or used to at least.
I see. No wonder you love tennis so much.
Oh, that feeling. You've never had it before?
Uh-huh. You know of it?
Yeah, I feel something similar when I'm playing the piano. It's kind of like the world around me slows down. There's only me and the piano. I can feel the weight of every keystroke at my fingertips. I can feel the music resonating in my body. It's clarity? I think that would be the word. Yeah, that's the best word to describe it. See, you know the feeling too.
Clarity.
Have you never felt that way before? Since you're such a high-level athlete, I thought for sure you did. I mean, I'm pretty sure someone like me feeling is kind of an anomaly. I didn't know musicians could experience that kind of feeling. That's for sure, especially short, tubby ones. Hey! That's rude!
I have. Now that I think about it, I have experienced a quite similar feeling before.
I figured. Sure all athletes
It wasn't while playing tennis, though.
Huh?
It was when I performed. During the school festival. Every word I sang, every note of the music that was played, every cheer and every sound from the audience, I could feel all across my body, from the top of my head to the tip of my toes.
Oh! Yay! Another one of us!
Pardon?
I guess that just means you're a born performer too, Keisuke-san. I mean, come on! You've been playing tennis for years and you never had this feeling before, but you felt it for the very first time you performed live? It's meant to be! Whoa. What's with the look on Keisuke's face? His eyes are so sparkly and full of life. Wait, did he zone out just now? Keisuke, you still there?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Then, in that case, we should probably get going. We don't want to miss the end of Saya's match. I just got a message from Aki saying she won her 4th game.
Alright.
Are you sure you're still there? You definitely sound like you've zoned out. Come on, stop spacing out or I'll have to drag you.
Yuichi!
Since he's being so slow, I decided to grab Keisuke by the hand and pull him along, not listening to any of his complaints or objections. This is what you get for being so slow, bird brain.
What did I just come back to?
I assume. Hmm?
You want to fill me in, Chief?
Oh yeah, we're at the matches. We're almost done with Keisuke's route so far.
Okay. What were you assuming?
Oh yeah, someone, Raj said that you, missed the penis.
I missed the penis?
Yeah. I shouted at the top of my lungs, he's talking about his penis. Or no, I think it was, Keisuke, stop staring at her penis. Nobody's mentally prepared for June's route. It's always the cute ones that give trauma. Or, wait, can you even use that expression on someone that isn't a bird? Harebrained?
I get it. I get it. Please stop pulling me by the hand in public.
Nope, this is your punishment.
Yuichi-san!
No, San. Yuichi-san? From somewhere behind us, I hear what sounds like my name being called. I immediately let go of Keisuke's hand, turning around to look at whoever it was that called to me, expecting some kind of lecture or admonishment from a staff member for being a disturbance. But instead... Hi, bitch! Man, it really is you. It must be my lucky day. I didn't think I'd find you in the middle of all these people. At least not until the members went way down. Yuya-kun. Oh, man. For a second there, I completely forgot that Yuya-kun would be here. Of course he would be in this competition. He got all the way to the finals of the Saitama Prefecturals. It would actually be completely insane to think he wouldn't have qualified. Hi, bitch! I just got done with my first match not long ago. I won in straight sets. Isn't that awesome?
Straight sets?
Why do you look so shocked? You won in straight sets too.
Yeah, but I wasn't playing against Eijiro Kitayama.
Wait, what? Kitayama? Third seed Kitayama? I look from Keisuke to the Aikido as a feeling of pure shock runs through me, unable to digest or otherwise process it. Yuya-kun laughs as if the whole thing were somehow funny to him. Yeah, that's him. Isn't it awesome? He was a really tough opponent too. We went into tiebreak for the second set, but I managed to get it.
What was the final score?
7-5, 7-6. Damn, that does sound very tight. But even then, beating Kitayama-kun in straight sets, that's something I thought only Tanabe and I could do in this competition. I certainly wasn't expecting this kind of development. What about you two? Have you had your matches yet? And what about this little guy over here? Is he a player too? Yuya-kun looks between the three of us, his sight lingering at June, who is an otherwise unfamiliar figure. I can't blame him for not remembering June hanging out with us the last time we met. They never talked after all.
Kobayashi, you must be joking.
I know I'm not a tennis player, but you have to sound so shocked by the mere suggestion.
Sorry.
I haven't had my match yet. Keikun just beat his opponent. Ah, that's fair. Must have been an easy one, eh? After all, aren't you the, what, 5th seed? You're gonna face some unranked player after all. This coming from the unranked that just beat the 3rd seed?
I was going to be the 5th seed. Then I lost to you. That dropped me down to the 6th.
Oh, I didn't know our match affected your ranking. Sorry about that.
Why on earth would you apologize?
I'm with Keikun here. This guy follows no conventional rules of logic whatsoever. Still, how lucky am I to get to play against you again? I had a lot of fun when we played each other last time. I'm looking forward to playing against you again.
That's... I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it as well.
Of course, I'm looking forward to playing against the both of you.
The... both of us?
Yeah, after I faced you in the quarterfinals, I got to play in Yuichi-san in the semis. Did you not look at the bracket?
You're just assuming you're going to beat me?
Yuya-kun looks like a little kid that just got the best news of the day. Honestly, he looks like he's innocently happy, like he didn't have an ulterior motive in the world. And yet, Yuya-kun, just so you know, you just got me very ticked off. Huh? Do you have any idea how unbelievably rude that was? You basically said that you expect to beat Keisuke like it was nothing. That is the kind of thing you're supposed to think but never say. Did no one ever teach you that? I Seriously, even if you're riding a high from your win just now, where do you, as an unranked player, get off saying that kind of thing to not only one of your seniors, but also a player much higher ranked than you?
Yuichi?
I'm sorry. I didn't say that on purpose. I was kidding. You sure weren't. I just remembered. I promised my friends I'd hang out with them after a match. See you all later. See ya.
But wait!
Bye, bitch. Keisuke tries to stop Yuya-kun from leaving, but the Akita damn near bolts before he has a chance to.
What just happened?
I think Yuichi scared him. I think Yuichi-san scared him off. Did I? Oops! What a shame.
Yuichi.
Yes?
And never mind, we'll talk about it later.
Yes, sir. Honestly, if I were Yuya, I would have actually started crying. I genuinely would have started crying. If I were Yuya, I'd have actually started crying. Because, like, getting told off by your idol, I have never experienced it. And I probably never will. But, like, it must be a very humbling experience, I imagine. Yes, sir. Are you going to be smiling like that the entire time? Because it's a little creepy. You kind of look like a serial killer. Maybe.
Let's just get going. We've wasted enough time as it is.
We make our way to the other building, making a beeline straight for Saya's court. I take advantage of the fact that we're passing by the court I'll be having my match in to glance at the current score while we're on the way. They're halfway through the third set. Shouldn't be that much longer until I'm called then. Keisuke and Jun spend the whole time talking among themselves and trying to get me involved in their conversation, but I stay mostly silent, partly because I'm still annoyed from our interaction with Yuya-kun, and partly to fuck with them. Oh, there you guys are. I'm guessing we missed the end of your match. I have heard about Cleaved. I have. I have it downloaded onto my computer. I just haven't sat down and played it yet. No, I'm still playing over there. I just cloned myself to talk to Aki-kun, see? Funny. You're a funny one, aren't you? I try. How's your match, Mizuguchi-san? It was boring. She didn't really challenge me.
Your poor opponent.
She's fine. She just lost 6-3, 6-love. I really wonder how fine she can be. At least she's not Kitayama. Kitayama? You mean Kitayama-kun from the male division?
Oh, yeah, there was that.
What about Kitayama-kun? He lost in straight sets just now. 7-5, 7-6. What?! Yuya-kun beat Kitayama-kun in straight sets.
You never said it was Yuya.
For the third time, she's memorized almost everyone from the competition. Stop being so shocked by it. I don't know. I don't know tennis. Stop being so shocked by it.
I don't think I can.
Yuya, isn't he the guy that beat Keikun back in April? Yup, the same.
Do you really need to remind me?
Kinda ironic considering Keisuke-san is the reason you got angry at the guy in the first place. Angry? What do you mean? It's a long story. We ran into Yuya-kun on our way over. He said something about being really happy to play against them again. And then Yuichi-san flipped out. I don't really get it. He was smiling like a serial killer. You really are a narc, aren't you? Wait, Yuya-kun was smiling like a serial killer? No, Yuichi-san was. I am so confused. I'll tell it from the start. I give them both a brief rundown of events, trying to be as concise as possible so I don't end up having to explain myself over and over again. As soon as I explain what Yuya-kun's words were, both Sai and Aki's expressions deflate immediately. Jun looks at all of our faces, clearly confused. You guys too? What's with the look on your faces? He said that? Even if it wasn't intentional, damn. Huh? Jun-san. Aki tugs on Jun's shirt, having Jun bend over slightly so he can whisper into his ear. Oh! So you mean he was basically announcing he was going to win as if he couldn't imagine Keisuke-san ever being able to beat him? I get it now. That's rude. I literally explained that right after it happened. How did you not get it? Emotions are running high, okay? I mean, yeah, it's not a big deal. It's more of a backhanded insult than anything. But consider their difference in age and ranking. It's kind of insane that the guy would be bold enough to say it in the first place.
It did rub me the wrong way, too. I was going to say something about it, but Yuichi's overreaction completely disarmed me.
My overreaction? Jeez, I'm sorry for having your back.
That's not what I meant!
It was scary how Yuichi-san essentially chased him away while smiling. Whose side are you on? Chaos? I love you, June. I love you, June. Dork. But yeah, I get why you seemed upset now. I don't know if I'd go so far as being upset by it, but I definitely wouldn't know how to react if someone said that to me. The comment seemed innocuous, though. I don't think he actually meant to disrespect. I don't think he did either, but the dude has to learn to control his tongue. After today, I'll be surprised if he even comes near you again. You're painting me like I'm some kind of rabid dog, and I don't appreciate it.
I do appreciate the impulse to help me out, though I do feel the need to point out that I don't need you to fight my battles for me. You do know that, I hope.
Yeah.
Good. Now, Mizuguchi-san, we should probably head to the front desk to report the results of our matches. Since we made a beeline straight here, I didn't go there yet myself.
Oh yeah, good point. We'll be right back, guys.
If you're called before we get the chance to come back, just look for us in the audience. I'll make sure we get a spot where you can see us, even if I have to elbow everyone else out of my way.
Don't get yourself in trouble.
It's no trouble.
I briefly stand around and watch those two head out. Seeing Keisuke gesturing with his hand as him and Saya start talking about something I can't hear until they eventually get lost in the crowd and disappear from my sight. Can we head to my court? I might get called at any moment, so might as well wait there. Sure. Luckily, the court I've been assigned to is right nearby, so it doesn't even take 2 minutes to get there. We hadn't yet stopped walking when I heard my phone going off in my pocket. I reach inside, grabbing my phone to check my messages. Right away, I see that it's the competition committee letting me know that the match on my court has officially ended and that they've started wiping the court down and preparing it for my game. Which, amusingly enough, I can quite clearly see. Convenient timing. That's for sure. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to check in with the officials for this match, and then I think I'm going to wait for it to start by the bench. I think some time to collect my thoughts and focus myself would be good for me right now. That's okay. Whatever you need, Aniki. Yeah, everyone has their own routine before a big event or performance or whatever. You've seen what I'm like backstage while waiting for my turn. I'm not that. I sure would hope so. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for walking with me here. No problem. Good luck. Yeah, we'll let the others know you've headed in when they get here. I'm pretty sure they'll be able to tell, June-san. You get what I meant! I head inside the court area, placing my bags on one of the benches and taking a seat. I make sure to greet anyone I pass by before I start watching the officials and volunteers wiping down the court. It's good to do nothing in particular. If I focus my mind on it, it's a good way of letting it turn off. They soon finish what they were doing, giving the all clear for the match to start. In the meantime, it seems my opponent has already arrived, as I see him getting up from the other bench at the same time that I do. A stag of medium build that comes up to about my chin in height. He looks athletic, but still somewhat unremarkable. His build reminds me a little of Keikun's, though with slightly more body mass. Once we lock eyes, he immediately looks away, fixing his gaze on the floor. That is all I need to know about his current mind state. Nervous opponent, huh? Not that I can blame him. Being an unseeded player in these situations must be nerve-wracking. No one else knows about you. Probably no one else will be cheering for you. Wherever you go, it must always feel like playing on the away court. I feel a little sympathetic, but I try not to let that thought occupy my mind too much. At the end of the day, I still need to win my match, and feeling sorry for him won't make him feel better for when he loses. The two of us take to the court as the umpire announces the duration of our warm-up session. We quickly start with our own personal warm-up routines, with them inevitably ending on a short, low-effort rally. Passing the ball back and forth so we can get the feel for our rackets and our swings. Then, it's time. Players, please come up to the net. We do as directed. When I get closer to him, I can tell that he's just a tad bulkier than I initially assumed from a distance. Or, at least his chest sticks out more than I thought it did. I wonder if he's a power player like me. Good luck. May we have a good match. Yeah! Same here. We quickly get our greetings out of the way. Afterwards, the umpire pulls out the coin asking for the stag to call heads or tails. As the coin lands on the umpire's hand, it is uncovered and shows that the stag had called it right. Like any reasonable player that isn't Keisuke, the boy decides to serve first, to which I nod in understanding. I will be the one officiating this match. Let us start the round 1 match between Yuichi Michimiya and Akira Inunaki. Will the players please go to their positions? Inunaki? That's a strange name for a stag. Wait, probably not what I should be thinking of right now. I hop on my spot a few times. Once I feel ready, I clutch the racket firmly with both my hands, firmly placing my feet on the ground and taking my position. I have to start from a strong foundation, keep my core engaged and prepared. Once the umpire gives a signal, I watch the stag Closes his eyes for a second. Once he opens them, he tosses the ball in the air, and a few hours later, I sit quietly by the window, having retired to my room some time ago. Once the adrenaline faded away, exhaustion hit like a truck. I don't know why. I've focused on improving my stamina ever since the last competition back in April, and I've only played a single match today. But I feel so tired. So I sit and enjoy the quiet. Keisuke was right. The view from here is pretty nice.
Hey, is everything okay?
Following a brief knock on the door, I look at the entrance just in time to see Keisuke emerging from the door before locking it behind him. Yeah, I'm fine.
You disappeared a while ago. I thought you'd headed to the bathroom or something, but you didn't show signs of coming back.
The celebration was a bit much for me. I'm happy that we've all passed to the next round. Don't get me wrong, but...
Too much?
Too much, yeah. Too many voices, too much noise. My head was throbbing a little bit, and I just wanted some quiet.
You have been very quiet since we got back to the hotel. That much is true. In fact, you nearly dozed off in the bath. That was something I never thought I'd see.
There comes a point when your desire to rest overrides your distaste for being naked in public.
It was only me and Hayato-kun in there. I'd hardly call it public.
It was still one person too many.
Only one, huh?
Keisuke gingerly pulls up a chair and sits next to me. It's times like these that I notice how careful and smooth his every gesture is. Even the way he pulls up a chair, opens a box, grabs something, sips on a cup of tea. All those kinds of basic menial tasks are performed so carefully and smoothly, like some kind of practiced movement. While I would normally just drag the chair and make some kind of noise or lift it up completely, Keisuke grabs me, pulls it up with one... Keisuke grabs up, pulls it up with its feet just barely off the ground and sits down all in one swift motion. I can barely tell where one action stops and the next one begins. It sounds silly to think about. After all, it's pulling up a chair. Never think there would be a refined way of pulling up a chair. But somehow, he does it.
You mind if I sit here with you?
Not at all. Keisuke leans to the side, letting our shoulders touch, giving me my space while still letting me feel him nearby. It's nice. I like being able to sit together like this.
I loved watching you play, by the way. I guess it slipped my mind. I should have said it earlier, but I forgot.
You've watched me play tons of times.
True, but I still love to. It takes my breath away.
Heh, isn't that what I said to you earlier today? Are you recycling my lines now?
Don't look at me like that. I know I sound corny, but it's the truth. I've always loved watching you play.
That's why you came to our school, right?
Right, it still feels embarrassing to admit.
I don't mind. It's nice knowing that you watch me so intently.
I always do, even before I fell for you. Granted, it was for a completely different reason, but...
But still... I readjust myself in my chair, letting my head rest against Keisuke. For his part, he accepts me without a single word or sound. I feel too tired to try and think up a conversation, but I also don't feel like I need it. Just being around Keisuke like this, I can feel my battery starting to recharge again. I feel comfortable in silence. June 30th. Something creeps up on me, slowly coming closer and closer. I try to open my eyes, but no matter how much I struggle, it refuses to respond to me. Little by little, anxiety begins to well up in my chest as I become more and more aware of some kind of presence just around the corner, continuing to rise until it catches in my throat. I feel like I'm being watched, and there's something so heavy on top of my chest that it becomes harder and harder to breathe. As I feel my brain becoming more and more starved of oxygen, my mind fires off desperate pleas for help. Someone, please, anyone! My pleas are left unheard. Or maybe even ignored, the last dying grasp of my conscious mind before finally fading off into...
Ah!
I jerk myself up and out of bed, sitting up violently and taking a deep breath. Before I even realize what is happening, I look around in a panic, still feeling that vague sense of danger that threatened to suffocate me, struggling to even breathe. As I look around, my mind slowly comes back to reality, eventually coming to the realization that I had been dreaming. I exhale, letting my body relax as I look down at myself, realizing that my futon is completely covered in sweat.
Are you okay?
My vision is still a bit blurry, but as it settles back into normalcy, I look to my side, gazing at the source of the voice that had called out to me. There, I see Keisuke, my boyfriend, kneeling on the floor next to me with a clear look of worry on his face. Oh, hi there. What happened?
You were breathing really hard while tossing and whimpering in your sleep. I tried waking you up.
Oh, so that's what brought me back to reality. It all felt so real, though. I try remembering what I had even been dreaming about, but it all quickly vanishes from my mind, leaving nothing but vague flashes in the place of memories. What used to be sheer terror soon replaced by confusion. I feel like I was awake for a little bit, but I couldn't move. I felt like there was something at the corner of the room watching me, but now that I'm recovering my lucidity, the idea sounds completely absurd. Oh, yeah, I'm fine. It was a nightmare. Nothing you need to worry about.
If you say so.
I take another look around the room, noticing that the curtains had already been drawn open, and yet there wasn't much light outside. There's no way it's nighttime again, so I'm imagining it might be really early in the morning. I didn't wake you, did I?
No, you're fine. I've been up for 30 minutes or so. Been drinking some tea and trying to, well, it's embarrassing to say, but I guess I've been trying to cope with my nerves.
As I sit up properly and lazily rub my eyes, I watch Keisuke get up and walk back to his chair by the window from the corner of my eye. You haven't even gotten dressed yet?
Why would I? It's only you and I here.
Then how did you get the tea?
Did you seriously not notice the hatch right next to the door? What did you think that was for?
That's what that was? Thought it was a vent.
Yuichi.
Don't judge me, I just woke up. My brain isn't working yet.
Alright, fair enough. How are you feeling, though? You were shaking pretty hard there.
Like I said, I'm fine. It was just a nightmare. I don't even remember it. At worst, I'm just going to need to take a bath to get rid of all the sweat.
I can certainly stand behind that decision.
That's the politest way anyone has ever told me I need a shower.
Well, I wasn't trying to be mean or rude or anything, but I don't like sweat. Sorry.
You really didn't pick the right hobby if you're that against it.
I'd like to think that you don't need to like sweat to be an athlete.
True, but you need to at least be able to stomach it.
We'll agree to disagree here.
I get up on my feet, quickly stretching myself to chase away the early morning stiffness that comes from sleeping on a futon. I get that it's traditional and everything, but I really don't get how people manage to use these exclusively for so long in the past. I already missed my bed. I'll go downstairs to take a bath in a little bit. That should be good enough for you, right?
Well,
Keisuke sets down his now empty cup of tea, fidgeting in his seat for a few moments. He's very obviously trying and failing to come up with a way to say something, so I decide to stand here patiently and wait for him to find the words he's looking for. It's not like you smell bad or anything, and I was thinking of going out for a jog anyway. It would be a waste for you to take a bath right before it, so... A waste, huh? Is this a roundabout way to ask me to go with you?
Could you? I'm afraid I might actually go insane if I stay cooped up in here for much longer. I was planning on going alone since you were asleep, but now that you're awake...
Sure, I don't mind. I'll wipe myself dry with a towel and maybe use some strong cologne to make sure I don't smell before we leave.
Oh, I could lend you mine. It smells really nice.
True that it does, but wouldn't that mean I'll end up smelling like you?
Would that truly be so bad?
I guess not. Besides, Keisuke's cologne is way nicer than anything I could afford. Although, wait. Are you sure that's going to be okay? Yours is really, really expensive. You don't have your savings anymore, so...
Please, that's if that's even remotely a concern. A few sprays of it aren't going to be what uses all of it up. Besides, this is more a method of control on my family's part than anything else. They would never risk the optics of me being seen as anything prim and proper. And my clothes, my hygiene items, all of it is important to maintain the image they want me to project. They merely added a new layer of annoyance to the process since I can no longer freely spend money. I need to rely on them and put in requests for the things I need. They want me to know that they control me.
Yeah? How can you say all of that with a straight face? You're talking as if it wasn't a big deal. But it all sounds super terrifying to me.
My point is that the only things I have to worry about are the things they wouldn't want me to be seen doing. I imagine music enters into that equation, but not perfumes or colognes.
If you say so. You seem way too calm about this. It actually worries me even more than if you were angry about it.
Yuichi, I understand and appreciate the concern. Really, I do. But I have had time to think about all of this, and I am used to dealing with it. They've been a thorn on my side for years now. It's not a single gesture that will suddenly break me. In fact, their stubborn attempts to keep me under control just makes me want to stick it up to them even further.
Oh God, stop him! This man needs to be stopped. Please, someone, anyone, stop him before he screws himself over! The chilly morning air hits me on the face as soon as I step outside. The first thing I notice is how many people seem to be already walking around considering the time of day. It's quite the varied mix of people, too. Some corporate types in their business suits and the likes. Some joggers of varying ages in their tracksuits and exercise clothes. What looks to be a bunch of people who spent the night partying and are only now heading home. I do wonder how many of these young adults jogging around might be competitors in the same competition as us. Despite how early in the morning it is, it seems that Tokyo really doesn't sleep. Keisuke doesn't wait for me before taking off and do a run. I quickly follow behind him. Luckily for me, it's not really difficult to keep up with the hair. I tend to feel more groggy than anything this early in the morning, so I've always struggled with morning jogs, but perhaps because of the nightmare earlier, I feel more alert than usual. Every now and again, I glance at Keisuke from the corner of my eye, making sure that I keep up with him without getting too far ahead or behind. I'm not used to jogging with other people, so matching up with someone else is a bit difficult. Keisuke taps me on the shoulder when we near a corner, pointing at it as if he wants me to follow. After having gone in a straight line for several blocks, we round the corner as he wanted, making me wonder if he's jogged around here before. Keisuke, like Saya, has a pretty good memory, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's jogged around the area yesterday and memorized some of the streets in the process. I could never do that. I need to constantly consult my phone wherever I go somewhere new before I get my bearings. Once we start building up a little momentum, I feel that familiar warmth in my body from the exercise. My body begins to wake up from its last remnants of sleep, bringing a jolt of energy along with it that makes me want to keep going. I sneak another glance at Keisuke, admiring his form for a second. There's no strain of any kind on his face. For some reason, even the mundane act of jogging together fills me up with a satisfaction that I struggle to describe. Damn, now I wish I'd have taken the initiative to ask him to jog with me in the morning before class, while he was still staying at my place. Now that he'll be heading back home, we won't have the chance. He lives way too far away to do that.
Is there something on my face?
Keisuke meets my gaze briefly, shooting me a question without warning that makes me nearly lose my cadence from the surprise. Huh?
You've been staring.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking of some stuff.
That's fine. It's cute how you tend to get lost in thought so often.
What?
Do be careful, though. At least keep an eye on where you're going. You almost collided with a lamppost a couple blocks back.
I did?
Mm-hmm.
As we continue chatting, Keisuke slows his pace ever so slightly, probably because it's easier to talk when you're not in between panting and counting breaths. I follow suit as he looks me over one more time, smiling brightly as he does so. Even that basic gesture is enough to make my heart flutter.
You know, it's kind of interesting to see just how many people around here seem to be the students like us. I even recognize a few faces from the tournament.
You do? I'm not great with faces, so I didn't recognize anyone. I was wondering the same thing myself a little bit ago, though.
Yeah, we've crossed a few other competitors during our morning jog. Then again, I suppose it makes sense. Most people will try to stay someplace close to the venue. And if you're the type to jog in the morning, sunrise is right around the latest you can get up without messing with your schedule for the competition.
Did you give everything this much thought?
On occasion, if it interests me.
Sounds like a lot of things interest you.
True, I'm a man of many interests. Chiefly among them is you.
What?
Oh hey, there's a vending machine here. How about we stop for a quick drink? We've been running for a little while.
Right after dropping that bomb on me and leaving me all out of sorts and silly, Keisuke stops abruptly, causing me to almost fall over myself trying to stop too.
You're looking a little clumsy today. Let's hope it doesn't affect your performance, shall we?
This is your fault! Keisuke turns his torso to look away from me, covering his mouth with his hand in an attempt to hide that cheeky little chuckle of his. In this moment, I think I may hate you a little bit.
I'm going to get myself a sports drink. Do you want anything?
You don't have to buy me anything. I can get a drink myself.
Come on, it's just a drink. Let's not make a big deal out of this.
But,
Iwiji, I wouldn't be offering if it was a problem.
that's a good point.
Don't go getting awkward around me just because you know of my current situation. I swear to God, this kind of thing is why I tend not to tell people about myself in the first place.
I guess that's fair. Sorry. Keisuke totally read my mind too. Gah. I hate how transparent I am sometimes.
So, what will you have to drink?
Can you get me a sweet coffee?
Coffee, huh? Look at that. Someone's almost an adult.
Got my voice losing. Fuck. Water.
It's time to drink water.
Keisuke hands me my coffee can. Despite the rising temperature once the early morning chill began to pass, I still hold onto the hot can with both my hands, enjoying the feeling of the warmth permeating it. Almost.
Should have asked for a black coffee, haven't you heard? That's way more mature.
You're pulling my leg, aren't you?
Of course I am. Black coffee is disgusting.
That's not a take I expected to hear from you. I thought you'd be a fan of black coffee.
I'm fine with no sugar, but at least add some cream or something to it. Black coffee on its own always tastes burnt to me, even cold brewed coffee.
I'll take your word for it. I rarely have coffee outside of the one I make myself, and I tend to add milk and sugar to that one since Aki likes to drink it too.
Head to the library.
Now that's a surprise. I'd have thought Akiyoshi-kun would be the type to drink his coffee black.
Make no mistake, he tried to. It was very funny to watch him trying to insist he liked it while grimacing at every sip. It took him about a week before he stopped trying.
He really is a resilient one. I wouldn't have lasted a day myself.
Nah, he's just stubborn. I take a sip of my hot coffee, enjoying the sweet and mild flavor against my tongue as well as the sensation of heat filling me up. Vending machine coffee is a lot better than I remembered. Any clue how long we've been out for? I spaced out a little, so I've lost track of time.
About 20 minutes. It hasn't been that long. I didn't bring my phone with me, so I can't really check either.
Oh, now that you mention, I forgot to bring mine too.
If I were jogging alone, I'd bring it with me so I could listen to music. Since I was going to have company, I didn't see the need to.
I appreciate the vote of confidence, but I'll still warn you that expecting good company from me the first thing in the morning is setting yourself up for disappointment.
Ha! Is that so? I'll make sure to keep that in mind.
I lean against the nearby wall, slowly sipping my coffee while alternating between looking at Keisuke and at the people that are walking by us. Every now and again, people watching can be an interesting way to pass time, similar to cloud gazing. I have actually had black coffee before. I'm going to go into story time. Story time with Ada Dog. Okay, so my sophomore year of high school, my U.S. history teacher, he decides to bring in raw coffee beans and hardtack. So that way we could get a feel of how people ate and drank during the Civil War. I went down to the bathroom and grabbed some paper towels so that way I could crush the coffee beans, and then so that I can ground them up. I grind them up and filter it so that way I would have coffee. Well, I did that. It tasted horrible. Black coffee tasted horrible, but the raw coffee beans tasted amazing. It can be relaxing, something to focus your mind on when you need to turn off your brain.
I see we're not going anywhere anytime soon, huh?
Yeah, sorry, I probably should have thought of that before picking a hot drink.
To be fair, I'm the one who picked a hot drink. You just asked for a sweetened coffee. I could have picked a cold one.
Oh, so it's all your fault. That works.
You ass!
Keisuke snorts, playfully smacking my shoulder. His nose does that thing where it scrunches up for a second when he tries to keep himself from laughing, making him have this kind of puckered look that is very adorable. Takes all of my self-control not to kiss him right now. Hey, you're the one who offered yourself as a scapegoat. You can't complain after.
I did no such thing.
We can stand here arguing about who did it all day. Can't we all put that aside, agree that I'm right, and move on? You know, like adults.
Like adults, huh? If I'd have known adulthood meant always being in the wrong, I wouldn't have agreed to the terms and conditions.
That's the best part. You don't have to agree. The terms and conditions are implied from the moment you're born.
Sounds like a crappy deal. Can I go back to being 17?
Nope. Welcome to the rest of your life, bud.
God, what even is this conversation?
Fun?
You know that's not what I meant.
What did you mean?
You know what? I don't even know myself.
Seems like you ought to have tried figuring that out first.
Sure, go ahead. Sass me as much as you want. Just try to remember that I'm the person that shares a room with you and wakes up hours before you do. Something you might want to keep in mind.
Is this a threat?
No, not at all. It's only a friendly reminder.
No, I feel pretty threatened right about now. Granted, I've been poking and prodding him a fair bit, so I can't complain that he's dishing back as much as he's given. How are you feeling now, by the way? Nervous?
A little. I was feeling a lot more nervous earlier, but the jogging and talking helped to clear my head some.
Yeah, you really need to burn that nervous energy as soon as possible, otherwise it starts to eat you up from the inside.
No kidding.
I quietly continued to sip on my drink, watching the steady flow of people walking in front of us increase with time. We left the hotel at the butt crack of dawn, and yet there was already a fair amount of movement. Now that we've been out here for a little while, it feels like it's increased tenfold. Tokyo sure is scary. Not that the downtown area of Saitama is all that different, but still. It's kind of relaxing, huh?
What? Watching people?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not relaxing.
That is such a confusing way to disagree with someone.
I never said I disagreed.
You never said you agreed either.
Indeed.
Psh, look at you being all vague all of a sudden. What a dork. What do you think?
About?
The people walking by. Anyone catch your eye?
Anyone? I'm sorry. What?
You know, see any attractive guys or something?
That's your... I'm sorry. What?
You already said that.
It bears repeating.
Feel bashful all of a sudden? Keisuke shifts his weight around between his feet uncomfortably, looking straight at the ground while groaning.
Are we really having this conversation?
Why not? Do you have a problem with it?
Why even?
No reason. We're just hanging out and I can't think of anything better to say, so I figured it couldn't hurt. Get to know each other better and all.
This feels like such a minefield.
If it really makes you feel uncomfortable, then you don't have to. I just don't see the harm.
You wouldn't feel bothered if I started talking about people I find attractive to you?
Not really. You're still with me and we're only human. No one's made of steel. You're allowed to look. You're just not allowed to, touch and stuff.
You're a lot more put together about this sort of thing than I thought you would be.
Listen, I can't be a mess about everything. Besides, you've given me no reason to feel insecure since we've gotten together. Hell, you even told me that you used to be attracted to Shoichi, and I didn't start acting all weird about you two hanging out together just because of it, did I? Right?
I guess that's fair. Well...
Keisuke finally looks up from the ground. It's almost comically cute how the moment I asked him the question, he started looking down as if he felt guilty just looking around.
To be honest, none of the guys really catch my eye.
Oh, that's a surprise. I can see at least a couple ones that I think are cute.
You really are into the cute aesthetic, aren't you?
I like what I like.
Any guys in particular?
Cute boy in the blue shirt and white tie at 8 o'clock. He's looking down at his watch over and over and seems a little nervous. It's kind of endearing.
That guy seems to be in his late 20s. Didn't know you had a thing for older men.
I don't really, or at least I don't think I do. I'm still not super clear on what my tastes are for obvious reasons.
Other than the fact that you like cute.
Cute is a way of life, okay?
What does that even mean?
You'll understand when you're older.
Bite me.
Gladly. Keisuke chortles, shaking his head while staring at the sky above and mouthing what seems to be the word, why?
Are you the cute Lindsay Evangelist? Seeking to convert others into the cult of cute?
Cult of cute? That kind of has a nice ring to it.
What? That was supposed to be a joke. Don't you dare make that a thing.
Calm down, I'm just joking.
You say that, but I can never tell with you.
Isn't that part of my charm?
No.
What? Do you have to say that so bluntly? With a smile on your face? What the fuck, dude? I thought you liked me.
Taking that preference into consideration, I'm surprised you're not really into girls. Since, they tend to be a lot cuter than guys do.
I guess. Suppose I like the way they dress. Don't think I've ever been interested in the girls themselves, though.
Didn't stop you from dating a bunch of them.
That's ancient history. Can we please not bring it up? Keisuke chuckles, placing a hand on my shoulder and giving it a soft squeeze.
I'm just messing with you. Don't get so bent out of shape about it.
I can't help feeling bad about it.
The fact that you feel bad about it is why I know you're a good guy. Maybe a bit too dense, but still a good guy.
Did you really have to word it that way?
Yes, it's not my fault you're so good at lying to yourself to the point of obliviousness.
Lying to myself? What does that mean?
Heh, not important. Anyway, what were you saying? Something about liking the way the girls dress?
Yeah, I guess. I do find their clothes cute. What about it?
Actually, this reminds me of something.
Huh? Keisuke looks me up and down, his face suddenly turning a lot more serious out of nowhere. Well, what's with the look on your face?
I just remembered you once said Kobayashi would look cute in a maid uniform.
Oh? Uh-huh. I guess I did say that. I suppose I can vaguely remember it. Don't really remember what the context was, though.
Could you be Yuichi? Are you into that?
Into that? What's that?
Guys in...
Wait a second! You're not implying...
Oh, did it finally click?
Whoa, wait just a moment here. What's with this line of questioning? Why are we talking about this? Why would you ask such a thing?
Because I'm curious. Your reaction isn't exactly helping matters either.
I'm innocent!
I never said you weren't. I'm just asking a simple question. Why are you getting so defensive?
Why are you asking?
We're going in circles now. I can drop the subject if you prefer. It's not like I'm judging you or anything.
It's fine. I guess I'm just not used to talking about this sort of thing. Or thinking about it much.
Like I said, I'm just curious. The constant mentions about you liking cute things just got me thinking. That and me remembering what you said to Kobayashi that one time just made me wonder.
I guess I don't know what I like most of the time. I'm just figuring this stuff out, remember? I'm more or less fine and comfortable with the regular stuff we do almost every day, but these kinds of topics are a bit
embarrassing.
Of course. I expect Keisuke to take the opportunity to throw another jab at me, but instead, Hare takes a step closer to me until we are side by side with each other and our shoulders touch. He gently leans towards me, leaning on me ever so slightly, just enough that I can feel him there without making what he's doing overly obvious. He's a lot better at being stealthy than I'd give him credit for.
You're fine, Yuichi. Talking about this sort of thing is bound to be embarrassing. We all have topics we're insecure or embarrassed about. But I'm your partner. You don't have to feel so self-conscious around me. Or, well, I guess you can't help feeling self-conscious. But in that case, at least tell me about it so I can pull it back. It's not like I want to put you on the spot or make you feel uncomfortable.
Thanks. I appreciate the understanding. But, well, I guess I hadn't given it much thought. My memory is kind of hazy, but I think when I mentioned the idea of June in a maid costume, I was only partly joking about it. If I think of it, I guess it would be kind of cute in a way, although... Which one? Actually, we're going to leave off here tonight, and we'll make this decision next time. Yep. Stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.